Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sabrina Wang from National Kaohsiung University of Hospitality and Tourism. Today, I will co-host this panel discussion with Li-Xin Chen, my colleague. And our topic is coffee and tea tourism, how to engage with customers and local community. After the outbreak of COVID-19, severe challenges occur for tea and coffee tourism. The panelists today will introduce how tea tourism revitalized remote communities in Japan. Then the panelists will present some insights from academic research, how innovation and ICTs can help with the responsible and sustainable development for tea and coffee tourism. Finally, the panelists will conclude the session by introducing a case study in Taiwan about how the coffee tourism survived the pandemic on the famous tourist destination, Ali Mountain in Taiwan. And I will show you the publications in recent years. Many I cooperate with Li-Xin on coffee tourism. If you are interested in these topics, please find the paper and read it and give us comments. Our first panel is Ms. Masako Saito. She's the president of Agri Green Eco Tours Company in Japan. She will talk about the tea tourism in Yumagashima. Let's welcome Ms. Masako.
I am Masako Saito from Japan. This is my honor to introduce our tea tourism in Umegashima, Shizuoka, Japan, where we happened to build our house 25 years ago and have been working for its revitalization for 13 years. This is showing where Umegashima is. The community has 151 families and 346 people. The main business is tourism with hot springs, wasabi, mushrooms, and tea. We have 3 different kinds of hot springs in this small area. Umegashima was famous for gold mine in Edo era 600 years ago. Spring water supplies drinking water to each family. Using this spring water, wasabi is grown here from Edo era. The characteristics of Umegashima tea is not only its aroma and taste, but also the landscapes made by tea field. Have you ever seen this kind of landscape created by the tea field? I am standing on the highest tea field in Japan, located in the community and looking down Pacific Ocean. The uniqueness of this tea field are, first, you have to cross the suspending bridge over the Abe River. Second, you can see Yabukita variety on the left and native variety on the right at a time. This is Kakurecha tea field, which has a super cold microclimate as small stream flows down the field. It is covered with snow in winter. Do you know what makes good tea? The elevation is very important. The big temperature gap during daytime and nighttime at a high elevation gives the tea high aroma, which is the same to coffee. Then, as it is gold mine area, the soil contains rich minerals. The minerals also give characteristic flavor to the tea. Moreover, farmers here do not use pesticides for many years, so it should make the tea value higher. So you may think how good business they could have, but in fact, abundant tea fields are rapidly increasing. Why does it happen? Why the tea farmers here cannot have any successors? Can you guess? There are 2 reasons. First, the tea price in the market is dropping in general. Second, the cold climate here makes the first harvest in late May, which is too late to be evaluated high price in the market. Thus, the tea farmers cannot live with tea income only and do not want their children continue tea farming. So in order to support the tea farmers in Umegashima, we established the Kakurecha Association in 2009 and started 4 activities to secure the income. 1. Branding the tea named Kakurecha. 2. Increase the urban-rural interaction population by tea tourism and tea field restoration. 3. Corporate supporters project. 4. Hold tea workshops. Let's look at these 4 activities closer now. Number 1, this is Mr. and Mrs. Akiyama who grow Kakurecha tea without pesticide and herbicide for 34 years. We work together for the Kakurecha brand. And these are the Kakurecha tea products. I would like to share some details of tea tourism number 2 here. Tea tourism is aiming to gain Umegashima fans as well as Kakurecha tea fans. So, at the orientation at the tour, we give a small tea workshop to experience Kakurecha tea. Tea tourism contains tea picking, tea making, tea cooking, hiking, and so on. The participants are roughly grouped into 2 groups. One is ordinary people who are recruited by us, and the other is tea masters who bring their tea students. The ordinary participants will enjoy different kinds of activities in Umegashima, such as tea dyeing, hiking, vine knitting, tea cooking, as well as tea picking. Tea masters understand how valuable Kakurecha tea is from the professional point of view, so they're eager to learn tea more from a farmer and try to make many different kinds of tea with him. Here you can see how you make your own lunch with the local natural materials.
Center, and then, yep, perfect.
More than that, or that's
I think we could go more because it's a lot back there. And then, perfect.
okay? And then
2 plums in the middle.
Oh,
Oops. Yeah, perfect.
The tea with
then
the
the
rice
and the bottom
leaves.
and a
goes
bit
bottom
put in a
goes up.
Then
pickle,
the stem side.
homemade pickle in the center.
Yep. And then this end, kind of pull it up, and then this end,
And wrap with 2 leaves.
and then the ribbon.
Even this ribbon is made from tea tree. The tree skins.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh, nice, very nice.
I missed a
Voila! Ta-da!
Yeah, that's done. It's
Perfect.
picnic
And then
lunch.
we go. Close on you. Okay. Ta-da!
This is our lunch at the last spring tour. We try to expose natural materials to the participants as much as we can. This is another way to increase the urban-rural interaction. The volunteers from Tokyo come and restore the abandoned tea field regularly. We consider this kind of activity also can be in a tea tour programs. This is all about our tea tourism, and I will continue introducing 2 more activities. Our corporate supporter project aims to secure the farmers' income. When we have a severe cold winter, the tea trees will be frozen and the tea farmers will not get harvest. But the corporate supporters will pay annually for the labor, even if there are no harvest. We are looking for more corporate supporters right now. For the purpose of disseminate the charms of Umegashima and Umegashima tea to the peoples, we formed Umegashima Ocha Club, which means Umegashima Tea Club, in 2011, and hold workshops in universities and at homes. Through these 4 activities by Kakurechi Association in 13 years, how many young people succeed their parents' tea business? There are none. It means for activities we are doing now, is not good enough to support the tea farmers here. So we looked for something else which brings more steady income to the tea farmers and the community. In 2018, when we had an autumn tea tour, we got a lovely souvenir from Myanmar by Thai participants. It was called lapeso, edible fermented tea, just like a pickled tea, and it tasted so good and so healthy. So we decided to produce this fermented tea in Umegashima with the tea farmers in order to get extra income as a 5th activity. Here, I would like to show you how edible fermented tea look like. The center in the left photo, this is edible fermented tea called lapeso in Myanmar, national traditional dish, usually eat with nuts and salad. The right is a vegan salad, which is very popular in Europe and the States. Salad with nuts and grinded edible fermented tea on the top. Edible fermented tea will contribute greatly to our health with its catechin and lactic acid together. We could not succeed to develop this fermented tea even after 3 years experiments, as no one was producing it in Japan yet. So we visited tea farmers in Myanmar in 2019 to learn. After that, we could produce safe and delicious edible fermented tea by ourselves. We tried various dishes using our fermented tea, Japanese and Chinese, Western, halal, vegan, and we found that the fermented tea can be used to any dish and make them delicious. I will show you 1-minute movie which accumulating our 13 years activity in Umegashima. The first page shows the countries we In order to see the possibility of the edible fermented tea, we attended a contest, Undiscovered Gems in Shizuoka, and got the Grand Prix award. Then we attended the contest Undiscovered Gems in Japan and got the runner-up Grand Prix award. It means this edible fermented tea is worth to introduce to the worldwide. This year we plan to start selling this edible fermented tea. Then we will develop the sauces on the top of the fermented tea itself. We hope these products will be a trigger for young successors of tea farmers and bring more customers to the inns in Umegashima and make our tea tours more attractive and, after all, make the community sustainable. As a conclusion, I would like to express how important the tea tourism in Umegashima is because it contributes most of the activities here. During the tour, we introduced the tea product and edible fermented tea, show the charms of Umegashima and recruit restoration volunteer for the abandoned tea field as well as corporate supporters. The tour gives us an opportunity to introduce the characteristics of Umegashima tea in a workshop. So, if we want to accelerate community revitalization, it will be important to focus more on the tea tourism. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Masako, for your wonderful presentation. I believe all the audience would like to visit Japan like me after your presentation. That's a really beautiful tea country. And if the audience, you have any questions to ask Ms. Masako, we have a Q&A section, or you can also have your questions in the chat box. Next, let's welcome our second presentation. Actually, it's a group of panelists. They have a very wonderful achievement on the handbook of tea tourism. If you are interested in this topic, I think it's available in November. There are information on the slide. Please click it and order the book. And let me introduce the panelists. First of all, let me introduce Dr. Lee Joliffe. She's the visiting professor in Ulster University Business School in UK. And the second one is Dr. Amnai Kokure-Muen. He is the associate professor from University of Shizuoka, Japan. And the last one is Dr. Lixin Chen. She's the assistant professor from National Kaohsiung University of Hospitality and Tourism in Taiwan. So let's listen to their presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's program. In this presentation, we will discuss some opportunities and challenges in tea tourism. If you have any questions, please take notes at this moment. Later on, we will have a Q&A section. So in this presentation, we will cover some important topics which are also discussed in the Routledge Handbook of Tea Tourism. So if you want to know more details about tea tourism, I will highly recommend you to purchase the handbook. Firstly, let's welcome Professor Joliffe to introduce what tea tourism is and the theoretical foundation. Professor Lee.
Thank you. So briefly, tea tourism occurs at both producing and consuming destinations, and this is an important point to note. And it's useful to understand tea consumer behavior and tourism involvement with and attachment to the beverage of tea. As a niche, tea tourism includes many, many different types of activities and aspects of tourism. And it's important to note that it's also related to sustainable tourism forms. So secondly, why should we care about tea tourism? So tea tourism can be a development tool when it's integrated with sustainable livelihood approaches. And it's also of particular relevance to rural development in the places where tea is grown, as noted by both the UNWTO and the FAO. And so third, in terms of theoretical foundations, theories about tea tourism are mainly based on theories from the tourism field, but they're also enhanced by the knowledge about tea in terms of history, development, production, and consumption, etc. Scholarship on tea tourism has evolved from the early identification of the niche to the more comprehensive approach that we're now using. And fourth, towards tea tourism theories. In the past, many studies of tea tourism have been fragmented, looking at different aspects independently. So now moving towards a more systematic and theoretical approach, this, as will be evidenced in the Routledge Handbook of Tea Tourism, which is now in press and should be widely available towards the end of this year.
Thank you, Professor Lee, for this wonderful presentation. Next, I will discuss about some issues related to management and marketing of tea tourism business. As many of you may know, tea plays an essential role in the marketing mix of both tea producing and consumption destinations. Therefore, most management and marketing strategies focus on the growth and competitiveness of tea tourism business. Based on this situation, the mainstream of studies related to tea tourism emphasize on the economic contributions and social benefit of tea tourism. Most research actually are case study research design. Therefore, most of them use qualitative and descriptive analysis. Although economic benefits or destination competitiveness are very, very important, we believe that it's time to make tea tourism more sustainable and develop more responsible tourism strategies. So for the demand side, tea tour guides should provide meaningful and in-depth learning experiences for tourists. Service quality should also be improved to increase satisfactions, memorable tourism experiences, positive destination image, and loyalty of tourists. For the supply side, successful destinations should be mindfully managed to enhance the staff's, local residents, and the visitors' well-being. Only when the marketing and management strategies can balance the needs and satisfaction of both host and guest can the tea tourism business thrive in the current experience economy and develop a sustainable future. Besides, for planners and tour operators, how to make tea tourism more accessible for everyone is always a very critical issue in tea tourism industry. Given most of the tea growing areas are actually in remote regions, it's really not easy for every tourist to reach those places if there is no proper transportation. Therefore, innovative destination management and marketing strategy are very important. For example, the tour operators can use the internet, the innovation of information community technologies, which we call ICTs, and other digital applications such as virtual reality. All those applications should be used to provide tourism experience, even though the tourists cannot really present at that site. Unfortunately, based on my observation, the majority of tea tours did not really respond to these evolution opportunities provided by ICTs to offer an augmented and supplemented experiences for tea tourists before the COVID pandemic. So as an academic, we hope we can have more research about this phenomena to support the tea tourism destinations and business in adapting such trends and modifying the management strategies. A very good example that I know is they apply virtual tea tour during the COVID pandemic is Abubu Tea in Japan. So if you want to know about this tour, you can freely visit their website and you can see how they arrange a virtual tour during when people have the challenge to travel to the tea tourism site. Thank you. So next one, we want to welcome Professor Anam to discuss a little bit about the innovation in tea tourism. Professor Anam.
Thank you very much. Related to the marketing section, so if you want to think about the strategies in marketing, so one of the issues that very interesting is the innovations and practice in tea tourism destinations. Today, the tea leaves are used for producing consumer products. So you can find many products that produces from the tea leaves. For example, you can buy the cosmetics that made from the substrate from tea, the dye fabrics, also the food-based products also provided in many stores and supermarkets. And also tea offers valuable experiences in tourism and hospitalities. For example, a tourist can have the experience of tasting the tea and brewing the tea in the tea course, or picking the tea leaves, visiting the tea factories. This is examples of the innovative idea in marketing the tea tourism. If you see in the picture, this is not only the normal tea pork cutlet, but it's a very important product because of we not use the tea as the main ingredients for the cooking, but the innovatives has been found in the process of the raising the pigs. So the farmers feed the pigs by the green tea water. So it's easy speaking, we can say the pigs drinks green tea water every morning. So that's why this is very, we have special unique products of the tea pork that used for the tea cutlet. This is just innovative in dressing the animals. Next slide, please. Okay. Okay. For the tea communities, tea tourism in the tea growing communities encourages the linkage the tea farming communities in the rural areas with the urban visitors by providing the tourism experiences in the countryside and also the tourism experiences in urban areas. So the tea market is benefit from the interactions of the urban developer or tourists in the cities, and also the interaction between the local people. I mean, for example, the tea farmers in the rural communities. And this linkage requires innovative marketing strategies related to the heritage, agricultures, and also gastronomy materials, just as tea cafes, the tea processing factories. Okay, next slide, please. So, but these contributions, this notion has less attention in taking this advantage of the developing the tea industry. Even in the tea consumption countries, tea is part of gastronomy and tourism with different tea culture heritage. But drawing attention to taking those tea cultures to attract tourists in tea tourism is not much mentioned. So in the future research, so we should consider the notion with innovative issues to enhance a new form of tea tourism in tea consuming destinations. The next slide, please. Okay. Accordingly, as I explained, the emerging tea tourism market intends to connect tea growing communities with the urban associations and the tea consuming destination to the innovative products and creative ideas to differentiate the regions. So this phenomenon has occurred in some tea growing areas in the world. For example, the effort of development of the tea tour guides in Turkey, and the linkage between the urban restaurant and tea cafe to the rural tea gardens through tea trails in Japan. And this trend emerges from the notions of blendings of the tea tourism destinations. That is the very important essential tool for the marketing. And you can understand from the next slide, when we want to blending the destinations, is not only promote the destination, but the tea product that provided in the tourism destination region that we say TDR is very important to make the tourist image, to attract the tourists from the tea products provided market. It means in the TGR, tourist generating regions, or tea consuming countries, we can say like this. We can attract the tourists from the tea consuming country to visit the tea producing area. That means the tea tourism destinations by the product provided in the TGR. This is the examples of the products, Shizuoka green tea that provided in the convenience store in Thailand, that produced by the Thai tea companies, but they use the tea product, tea leaves from Japan, the import tea leaves from Japan to attract many tourists, to attract Thai tourists to visit Shizuoka. from the image of the Mount Fuji and the tea fields in the package of the tea product provided in the TGR. This is examples of the future research that we should focus on both tea producing areas and tea consuming area as innovative ideas for the tea tourism in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Nam, for your wonderful talks about the innovations in tea tourism. Finally, on behalf of the editorial team of the Routledge Handbook of Tea Tourism, I would like to make some conclusion. Actually, we would love to encourage professionals and stakeholders in the tea tourism industry at this moment. Try your best to respond to contemporary global challenges through innovative, sustainable, and responsible strategies. It is more important than ever to know that the great potential that tea tourism business can contribute to the world peace. Additionally, we need to put more efforts into the recovery of tea tourism from the COVID-19 pandemic and also establish more responsible, resilient, and innovative future through tea-related tourism. Besides tea tourism, we also know that there's another very important beverage, coffee, can contribute to the more responsible tourism development. Professor Lee later on will explain coffee tourism a little bit for us. Professor Lee, please. Thank you.
Thank you. We included this slide to transition to the next section on coffee tourism. So when compared to tea tourism, coffee tourism has very similar characteristics. So it's defined as being related to the consumption of coffee, its history, traditions, and products of a destination. And like tea tourism, it's important to note that coffee tourism occurs in both coffee producing and consuming locations. And also there's recently been an increase in the studies of coffee tourism. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So later on, we will have a discussion on coffee tourism as well. But first of all, I would like to thank you for all the participants. You pay attention to our presentation. If you have more questions that you want to ask about tea tourism, we are happy to discuss with you in the Q&A section. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for their wonderful presentation on the opportunities and challenges in tea tourism. Our last but not least is the coffee tourism. Is Miss Chen Ruoyun. I always call her Rennie. She's the representative in Taiwan Ali San Zhou Yuan. It's very beautiful place, very famous. If you have the opportunity to come to Taiwan, you will definitely go there. She will talk about how the coffee farms survive from the pandemic. So let's welcome Ruoyun.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. My name is Chen Ruoyun. I'm glad to have this opportunity to share some information with you here. I am a coffee farmer and a native of Taiwan. Our ethnic group name is Zhou, with a population of about 6,000, a very small ethnic group. We will talk about the impact of COVID-19 in Zhouzhuyuan. Zhouzhuyuan is our brand name. Let me introduce the meaning of this name. The first word, Zhou, is our ethnic group name. The second word, Zhu, means to build. The last word, Yuan, means our land. So, our brand name means that we build, create our dream on this land. In South Central Taiwan. Since we set up processing plant and the coffee shop near our coffee land, it is an opportunity for us to introduce sightseeing, touring, and testing experience. Our estate environment with an average annual temperature of 17.4 degrees Celsius and a temperature difference of at least 50 to 30 degrees Celsius. The annual rainfall in the area is about 4,000 millimeters, with the rainy season from May to October and the dry season from November to April, which makes it ideal area for tea and coffee cultivation. The coffee industry at Zhouzhuyuan is kind of one-stop service from start to finish. From production in the coffee plantation to harvesting, wet milling, dry milling, roasting, packaging, shipping, brewing, etc. We keep using our coping skill to evaluate all process, to optimize and improve the quality of our products. Starting from the picture on the left is our coffee cherry, green bean, and the cupping to quality checking, roasting and brewing. Productions. We are a producer at the source of our products. We deal with everything from coffee seeds, parchment, and coffee leaves. About the productions, just like packaging, brand name are associated with our ethnic group. About the design, color is also the representative color of our group. It has caused a decline in Alishan's tourism industry in general, and we have been using tourist consumption as the main source of income for the coffee shop, which includes coffee tastings, tours of the coffee land, guided tours of the coffee process, lots of sessions. Because of the severity of pandemic, the number of the visits has dropped significantly, which has directly affected the overall economic revenue. Before the pandemic, we had many physical activities, such as coffee testing and exchange sessions, and visits from fellow travelers, as shown in the two pictures on the left side. And for a period of time after the pandemic began, showing the picture on the right side. To the pandemic, we are also following the government's policy to ensure that the prevention process is carried out when customers enter the estate, such as registration and basic disinfection and body temperature measurement. We also disinfect the space when customers leave the venue to maintain the safety and health of the venue and avoid any infection leakage. Guidelines for customers to follow after arriving at our estate. First, wearing a mask when they leave their seats. Second, priority seating is arranged for customers in the outside area. Third, checkboard seating arrangement. Fourth, keep the social distance. Since there are a lot of safety precautions about the pandemic, customers also prefer independent space. Because of the impact, the number of customers visiting the estate has decreased a lot, resulting in a sharp reduction in revenue. We had to start establishing other sales channels to balance the situation, such as creating an online shopping store, allowing customers to order online from home, with home delivery and providing customer service using the internet as much as possible if there is any questions, as well as diversify development and promotion. Last year, we transformed coffee into artwork to leave a trace in digital format. In addition, we have cooperated with other local industries in Taiwan to develop a new idea and create innovative products. We have extended our promotion to internet such as Instagram or Facebook or shopping site, which has increased reach of our website and order quantity. In addition, the international coffee industry has been affected by the pandemic, and the shipping cost has increased widely. The cold wave hits Brazil, also affecting the global coffee production. Many reasons make the demand for Alishan coffee has increased. In conclusion, with the increase in demand, the freight transportation output also increased, and with a well-established delivery management system, the real-time freight tracking system improved the efficiency and the convenience for customers. However, the transportation cost and the packaging cost also increased. These have switched from lots of live events in the early days to virtual events and hybrid events that combines live and virtual activities. During this time, we are less motivated to participate in the activities because of fear and worry. And we give up the communication activities such as exhibition, aviation, competition, symposium. Although we can take online communication, but the intensity of the activity is lower than live. However, many changes need the accumulation of practice. After all this time, most people have gotten used to different modes of communication and have learned how to take action. Tourism. The difference from the past is that the composition of visitors has changed from the group mode to the independent travel mode. Although the number of visitors has decreased, the service can be more detailed in disguise, which can upgrade the service experience of customers so that they are closer to the estate. And also we can transmit the more delicate brand spirit more accurately and completely, which is a plus to quality of the estate overall. As for the target audience, we used to have a lot of international and hobbyist visits. But after the pandemic, we switched to more target interactions such as coffee processing, academic research, and education training. To conclude, the impact of the pandemic has stopped many things from being accomplished smoothly. We have designed plans to adjust the direction of the industry as the situation changes, so that we can increase the intensity of the management in coffee plantation, adjust the detail of the specialty coffee process, and research more suitable coffee varieties for the plantation, so that we can better in the future, we think. And this is my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for Rennie's presentation. We know that everyone works very hard to survive from this pandemic. And now let's show the messages, the announcements from the ICRTH 2022. Please pay attention to these details. Thank you. Once again, thank you very much for joining these panel discussions. I believe after the wonderful presentations from all the panelists, you must have a lot of questions, maybe about some cooperation in the future. So now we welcome any questions or comments from you. And my colleague Li Xin will take care of your questions. Li Xin, now the floor is yours.